Is the Capital One Venture X card still worth it in 2024? Let's take an honest look at the card and see if it's worth that whopping $395 annual fee. Now it seems like everyone and their mom is talking about the Venture X card and how it's the #1 credit card of all time. This card is a banger, and that's why I think everyone regards it so highly. So I'm actually going to be joining in on that YouTube hype as well. So let's really dive into the value that you can get from the sign-up bonus, the main benefits and the protections you get from the card, the point multipliers, and surprisingly one of my favorite parts, the Capital One travel portal. Round 1, the sign-up bonus. Throughout the year, the sign-up bonus for the Venture X card is usually 75,000 Capital One miles, or let's just call it points. I don't know why Capital One calls it miles, but let's just use points. 75,000 points after spending $4,000 in your first 3 months. Capital One miles are the same as credit card points, so instead of calling them miles, I will be calling them points in this video. So now this begs the question, what are these 75,000 points worth? Well, Capital One likes to state on their website that 75,000 points are worth $750 when redeemed for travel. That is assuming that we're going for 1 cent per point. And I think we could do a lot better than that. Here's a better example of what you can do with these Capital One points. Now with every credit card company, you don't want to ever just use their travel portal. That will result you in 1 cent per point. What you want to do is use them with transfer partners. In today's example, we'll be using Air France because it's so easy to get really good value with Air France. I found this flight right here from London to LAX, one-way business class that would cost you 50,000 Capital One points plus $567. Now this exact same flight would originally cost you $10,174, which is insane. There is no way I am paying $10,000 for a business class flight. Now to find our cent per point value, we have to use the equation cost of travel in dollars minus the cost of the fees over the points needed to book the travel times 100, and that will give us our cent per point value. In this example, we would have $10,174 minus the fees, which is going to be $567, over 50,000 Capital One points times 100, and that gives you a result of 19.2 cents per point, which is absolutely insane. That's like saying my $1 right here is going to be worth $19.20 when I redeem it for travel. It is just an amazing deal. 19.2 is a lot better than a measly 1 cent per point. This is why I love transferring my points out to Air France. You get really good deals whenever you go to Paris or London, from LAX to New York, whatever. It just gives you great value. They're usually 50,000 miles if you can find them. They're not that rare too, and it's pretty easy to find. So just for signing up for the card, you get one of these flights, and if you can manage to get 25,000 more points, you could actually get 2 of these flights for you and your partner. So right off the bat, in my opinion, the sign-up bonus is going to take care of that annual fee for many years to come, assuming you transfer it out to partners and assuming you find really good award availability. You just have to take the time to find these flights. If you need help with that, I will make a separate video on how to find these amazing flights and how to get the most out of your credit card points. Round 2, the main benefits and protections. Now this card is famous for paying you $5 for having the card. Let me explain. The main benefit of this card is that you get a $300 travel credit and you get 10,000 anniversary miles or points after every year of having the card. Now, assuming that those points are used at a 1 cent per point value, that gives you $400 in travel credits, while the annual fee is only $395. Therefore, the card nets you $5 just for having it every year, assuming you use all the travel credits. Now, what's even better about this card is that it comes with a little hack that makes it even more powerful. This card comes with access to all the Capital One lounges, the Plaza Premium lounges, and every single lounge on the Priority Pass network. Now, what's even crazier about this is that Capital One allows you to add 4 free authorized users to your credit card. Now, these 4 free authorized users will have the exact same lounge access as the main user. For example, let's say I gave my mom and my brother an authorized user account for my Venture X card, which I actually did in real life. That means without me being there, they can use any of the Capital One lounges, the Plaza Premium lounges, and any of the Priority Pass lounges, basically any lounge found anywhere in the world except for LAX. And that's exactly what they did. For example, let's say my mom went to Korea without me while I was at work, because that's what actually happened. She was enjoying all of these lounges for my Capital One Venture X card while I stayed here, which is great because it's not like I need to be there to get them in. They can just go themselves. Plus, what's even crazier is that each user can bring 2 free guests. So basically, one Venture X card can bring up to 15 people into these lounges all across the world. And that's why this card is so popular, because of that little hack. Most cards, like the Amex Platinum card, required you to spend money in order to get an authorized user card. And yes, these authorized users get the same lounge access as the main holder, but you have to pay $195, for example, with the Amex Platinum card. But Capital One just gives it to you for free, which is just insane. My brother just recently went to Japan. He had a layover in Dallas. He brought in his 2 friends. So basically they used my VentureX card to go with 3 people into the Capital One lounge in Dallas. So if you really want to share lounge access with all your friends and your family or your trusted ones, this card is amazing for you. And the best part about this is that the card pays you basically $5 for using their benefits. Now what's really cool too is that the card comes with Visa Infinite protections as well. You get cell phone protection up to $800 if you put your bill on the Capital One VentureX card. You get return protection within 90 days of your purchase, extended warranty protection, travel accident insurance, and my favorite benefit of all time, auto rental collision damage waiver, which is insurance for your rental cars. Basically, instead of paying $180 for insurance for your rental car, you could just decline it and Capital One will take care of it for you. I recently booked a convertible for my Hawaii trip coming up in June, and that would cost me $180 if I were to buy the insurance from Hertz. But I declined it. I paid $0 for the protection. Capital One's got me covered, and this is my favorite protection because it actually saves you so much money on your travels. Speaking of Hertz, you also get Hertz Gold Plus, which gives you faster checkout and guaranteed free upgrades. So assuming that you use that $400 travel credit, Capital One is basically paying you $5 to use all of their lounges for you and your family and to protect your purchases and your travels. Not to mention, Priority Pass also allows you to go to the new Chase Sapphire lounges in New York. Granted, it's only 1 time per year, but keep in mind, you get 5 memberships basically with your one VentureX card. So basically, you and 4 other people can use the Chase Sapphire lounges this year 1 time. This card is pretty broken, and they really thought about the customer first when making this card. I think that's why everyone raves about this card. It really is such a crazy card. I don't even know how they profit off of this card, to be honest, but if you love to travel, this card is definitely going to be worth it for you. Round number 3, the point multipliers. Now this card actually surprisingly has pretty good multipliers as well. They're simple, but they're effective. You get 10 times points on hotels and rental cars booked through the Capital One travel portal, 5 times points on flights booked through the Capital One travel portal, and 2 times points for everything else, which is going to be my favorite part. Now usually when a card says earn points except booked through their travel portal, it usually sucks because credit card portals are usually inflated in their prices. Now Capital One's portal is no different, except they do one thing differently than all the other credit card companies, and that is price match. Meaning if you could find the same flight or the same hotel on the same exact day you booked it, that's cheaper, for example, on like Google or Expedia, they will match that price, which therefore means that the Capital One travel portal is not inflated because they reimburse you. This makes Capital One the absolute best travel portal out of all the credit card companies, but I will be going over that in the next section. Now, like I said, what I love about this card is the 2 times catch-all for everything else. This means this is the card I use for all my uncategorized stuff that my other card doesn't give me. For example, like home goods, like forks or spoons, or like car repairs, or like YouTube studio stuff. All that goes on my Capital One VentureX card. Most premium cards come with a 1 times point multiplier because they don't really focus on point multipliers, in my opinion, like the Amex Platinum or the Chase Sapphire Reserve. They don't really give that 2 times catch-all multiplier. And that's another reason why this card is just so great. So this card is actually one I regularly swipe on, which is just adds on to the greatness of the card. Round 4, the Capital One travel portal. Now, like I said before, the Capital One travel portal is the best travel portal out of all the credit card companies simply because they will match your lower price. I actually used this price match in Paris, so let's go over an actual example that I went through. I stayed at the Hotel St. Regis in Paris, and if I look on the Capital One travel portal, it's going to be inflated to $1,060 per night. However, if I look on Google for the exact same room for the exact same date, it's going to give me $816 per night. This comes out to a difference of $244 per night. Now, before I book the room, I'm going to call Capital One's contact number and I'm going to tell them, hey, I want to stay at the Hotel St. Regis in Paris on these dates, but on the travel portal, I see $1,060, but on Expedia, I see $816. So can you price match that for me? In my situation, they confirmed it in 5 minutes. They said, hey, you're right. We found it on Google for $816. Therefore, we are going to reimburse you $244 when you book the room. Now, granted, they don't give you $244 in statement credits. They actually give it to you in travel credits, but it's fine because at least they reimburse you. So I booked the room for $1,060, and in my Capital One travel portal, I have a credit of $244 for my next travel purchase. Now, what makes this even better is that this hotel was part of the Premier Collection. The Premier Collection gives you daily breakfast for 2 people, early check-in, late checkout, $100 in dining credits, and suite upgrades. So not only did I get that $244 reimbursed to me, I got free breakfast, $100 in dining credits, and I got a suite upgrade for the exact same cost as what I would find on Google. I basically paid $816 for a suite, and that's just amazing. I think a suite would have cost you like something like $1,200 on Google. And on top of all that, I'm getting 10 times points on my purchase, meaning for this purchase, I get 10,600 Capital One points, which is just a win-win-win situation. Booking on Amex's or Chase's travel portal gives you the exact same cost, $1,060, except they won't reimburse you the difference. They basically give you the same upgrades, early check-in, late checkout, room upgrades, blah, 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 all that. But they just added on to the cost of the room, which I think just kind of defeats the purpose in my opinion. So anytime I book with cash, I always go to the Capital One travel portal because they have a customer first approach. So if you're someone that just loves to travel and you want to share lounge access with all your closest friends and family, then this card is definitely going to be worth it for you. So I will have the referral link in the comments down below that will give you that 75,000 points. If you're interested in getting the card, I would super appreciate it if you use the link. It would really help out the channel. Now, the one downside to the Capital One cards is that they're really hard to get approved for. Even if you have a high credit score for some reason, it's just kind of hard. I actually got denied once before applying, and I finally got it last year, and it's been really amazing to have this card. So if you want the card for yourself, feel free to use that referral link down below. So what do you guys think? Did I overhype the card? Did I and every other YouTuber just overhype the card? Or is all the praise justified for this card? Comment down below what you guys think. I'm actually really curious on what everyone has to say about this card. Now, if you want to know more about the Amex Platinum card, then make sure to check out this video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Woo!